If you hate your job, why don't you leave it? If quitting was easy, you wouldn't still be here. You say that you will resign, but your EMIs don't care about your mental health. Your boss controls your paycheck, your workload, and most importantly, your options. At least that's what you think. What if I told you that your boss is not the problem? At least not the main problem. Toxic bosses get discussed a lot, but most people don't talk about the real problem. And it starts long before you sign up for Indeed. When you look back, the pattern is obvious. School was about marks because everyone around you said marks decide everything. College became about placement because that's the only goal anyone ever talked about. Your first job was whatever showed up because you needed the experience. And when you started getting paid, you started spending as well because that's the fun part. And we all know that it can get a little too out of hand. So much so that before you know it, you get tangled into credit card bills, EMIs, rent, phone bills, groceries, yearly trips, and Friday night parties. But life is not fun for everyone. Some have responsibilities too. Either way, you are used to this new lifestyle and you can't go back. You are in for a ride that you can't escape. But it doesn't feel all that bad, right? Unless you realize that you are one bad day away from getting fired without any real backup plan or bankable skills to fall back on. And that's because you settle for what came easy instead of what is actually good for you. Which brings me to the next question. Do you know what you actually want? You're not unhappy because you don't have what you need. The real problem is that you want 5 different things at the same time and none of them work together. Most graduates in India, especially non-technical ones, study one subject because it's doable and then they go on to take a different job altogether because it was available. In India, you can say no to something when you don't have anything. That's why you will find many sales representatives who come from a commerce background or many BA or MA graduates working in customer support or BPO job, which means you get zero leverage from your years in college in compared to those who actually went for jobs that are aligned with their subjects. For example, an English graduate who chose to be a script or copywriter. Now this lack of direction can come back to bite you in many ways. You keep switching roles, but because nothing really builds on what you did last time, you don't develop any solid expertise. And when your skills don't stack over time, it's like going to the gym for 3 years and still lifting the same dumbbell. But again, now with a full-time low-pay job, you simply don't have the time or energy to get out or change things around. And that's why it's important to focus on your direction and not just speed. I know the Indian job market is tough. Getting a job in itself is a struggle. So getting the kind of work you want to do feels like a luxury. Yet, trust me when I say you need to ask yourself this: what do I want from my work? It forces you to think about the kind of life you are trying to build, the type of task that actually suits you, the limits you can handle, the risks you can afford, and the direction where your skills make sense. And now you can easily filter out roles that are not meant for you. And yes, if you want what's right for you, you need to show the courage to say no to anything and everything that's wrong for you. If you want steady pay, don't go for meaningless internships. If you want low stress work, don't respond to target-based offers. And if you want to grow faster, try to get into jobs that teach you dynamic skills, even if the pay is a little low at the moment. That's how you build leverage. And always remember this: it's more about your trajectory than your current results. But it all comes back to the same question. Do you even have the time to make all these changes? Yes, you do. All you have to do is follow this next step: the weekend pause. If you can spend 2 hours this weekend, sit down, play some music in your headphones, and ask yourself this: what are the 3 best things that can happen to me by the next year? It can be anything. Create a passive income stream, going for a managing position, or shifting abroad. Now doing this helps you in 2 ways. First, it sets a realistic deadlines for your goals. And then it forces you to limit your focus only on things that matter the most. You are more likely to achieve the things that you are aiming for. Because now your intent, your plans, and your actions are finally in sync, unlike your ex. But where do you even start? Here's the escape plan. What's the simplest way out of a career that is not serving your ambitions anymore? I have talked about this in my last 2 videos. Start with one skill that can actually grow. With skills like writing, sales, analytics, design, coding, editing, or management, every hour you put in makes you more valuable. While you're at it, don't forget to build a safety net for you. Save 3 to 6 months of financial buffer. How does it help? You will be surprised by what you can achieve when you're not desperate for immediate results. And you can also try to have a 10 to 15k side hustle using the skills that you are learning. When you have a portfolio, a skill, and some buffer, you open yourself up to bigger and better opportunities. So you're not really stuck unless you're actively deciding to. I can't fix your boss, but I did show you how to outgrow them. Don't you think I deserve a like or subscribe? Anyways, I will just leave you with that, and thanks for watching.